Hi, folks. Thank you again for coming to Back to Basics. Today we're going to go and speak with Michelle Peth, and we're going to go and find out what she's all about. She has talked about skincare. She's actually talked about what beets have to do with skincare, and that's what we're going to go and talk about today. So, how about stop talking to me and let's go and speak with our guest today? Let's speak with Michelle on Back to Basics. I'll see you there. Hi, folks. My name is Girish, your host for today for Back to Basics. On the intro, we talked about Michelle and we talked about skincare, but we also did talk about in the intro what is this skincare all about when it comes to beets. Now, because we never think of that, did we? Now, it is a very healthy thing, just like what I said on my intro. So, why don't we stop wasting time? Why don't we talk to Michelle, get to know her better, who she is, and what is she all about? So, Michelle, how are you? Thanks for coming to Back to Basics.
Yes, I'm so happy to be on here, and I love this subject, and I'm so happy to tell everyone what beets mean to me and to skincare.
Yeah,
Skin.
yeah. Thank you so much, Michelle, for coming on Back to Basics. I'm very, very excited. But before we get to the basics of the beets and the skin and the skin care, what does Back to Basic mean to you?
Back to basic. I think for me, it's just going back to the basics of the what the earth and the universe and God has provided us for our skin and for our health care. That's what it means to me. I think everything is here to work for the greater good, and we just need to dive into that. And I'm more into the all natural than I am chemically derived anything.
Mm,
I know that for me, that's what back to basics is. It's just going back to the original things that you as humans used
mm.
for all types of things. But in this case, for skincare is what it means for me.
Of
That's what
course,
I
of
did with
course.
my company.
Yeah, yeah. Michelle, thank you again for answering that question. And thank you again
Mhm.
for supporting me and coming here on
Yes,
and being a guest here.
happy.
I'm very, very excited. I mean, you and I chatted briefly right before this
Mhm.
very first time, and we connected really well. So thank you again for that.
Yeah.
How did you start the skincare? I mean, yes, skin is very important because that's the biggest organ that we have, and we live in this, right? Till we pass on. But what makes you get into the skincare regime?
Well, I'm a big sister, and at an early age, my younger sister had some skin cancer issues, and scares. Sorry,
Mm,
tongue twisted. Um, so she found precancerous spots at 15 years old, and then by 17 years old, she had had more than 10 cut off.
mm,
So as the bigger sister wanting to help my younger sister, she also had super sensitive skin, would break out very easily, red rashes. And she's a redhead, so she had super fair skin. So it was very noticeable on her because her skin is snow white.
mm,
So that is what kind of birthed my interest in helping my sister in skincare. And then fast forward, we stayed out the sun. So we started taking care of our skin because clearly it ran in our family. My mother, my grandfather had suffered from skin cancer scares. So now here we are. And I have a sunless tanning company, and it's a safe alternative to the sun. And the active ingredient is beets.
mm,
So, and it all was developed, for a love for my sister. But then after having a business and trying all these other products on other women, I met women with lupus. It's an autoimmune disorder. They have high sensitivity because of their autoimmune issue. They it affects their skin. So
mm.
I had a client with lupus, and then I had a client with and by my client I mean I started spray
Yes,
tanning and doing
yes.
sunless stuff. So then I had another one with eczema, another one with psoriasis. So it was really important to me to work with a beauty chemist and find something that would work on all of these skin types and skin tones and be healthy. And your skin is your largest organ. So it had for me, it had to be healthy to go on, and it had to look good going on too, because
Of course.
otherwise if it didn't look right. And it just so happens that beets was the ingredient that that looked the best.
Mm. Yeah, so we're gonna get into the details of that, but
Mhm.
let's step back a little, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
We see creams out there, which is vitamin A, vitamin C. We have fish oil, we have
Mhm.
coconut oil, we have mustard oil, which is kind of good for your hair, but then it's also good for your skin also. So, and almond oil. So, what do you think? Um, how is that different than what you have versus when I say you, I mean the beets versus all the other ingredients that we know.
Well, we have luckily we have other nourishing ingredients in one of our products. We use coconut water as with the beets.
Mm,
So we do still use, I did work with the chemist to come up with other ingredients that would work well with it. But I think as far as this particular product, beets had the best results.
mm,
And the beetroot is like our lotions have beetroot. We've kind of threw the beet in everything because it's an antioxidant. It's very healthy for the skin, and it has a great shelf life.
mm,
So that our active ingredient is derived from a beet because of its shelf life, its results, the feel of it, and the healthy aspects as well.
Yeah, thank you again for that. Uh, so you also have, well, let me step back a little because you kept on saying for ladies, but it's actually for everybody, isn't it?
Everyone, yes. I just worked it originated from my sister, and I'm a woman's woman.
Of course.
So, I also like do business coaching with women through the spray tan. I teach people how to own their own spray tan business. So I'm a woman's woman, but yes, I very much preach. I also have a 21-year-old son. So I care about the men out there too, because I got one. Um, a little man. Well, he's a big man now. He's a man now, but he himself uses the product as well. And he's fair skin. And again, it runs in my family. So this is important for me to have an alternative to tan. And we all, you would think, let's just not tan, but not everyone is born with beautiful olive skin. Or,
Right.
so some of us are, like, it's the only way, some people, it's the only way they can get tan. So why not have it be so something healthy? And then it is safe to use with SPFs out there. So I encourage SPFs, but it's just a safe alternative. And then the ingredients that are in it, including the beetroot and the beet extract, are very healthy for the skin. So
Yeah.
you can feel good about it going on, about what you're putting on, but then you look good after.
Of course, of course. Thank you again for
Plus,
that.
men love it. Men love it because it goes on clear, so they don't feel like they're putting a makeup on like some of the other products out there. So it does go, even though it's crazy to think that something clear can come out of a beet because most of them are purple.
Right.
Um, that the sugar's extracted and that's how the active ingredient is made. So it goes on clear. So men like it because they don't feel like they're putting on a makeup.
Yeah, thank you again for that. And I want people to understand that when they're listening to this, they're going on your website
Mhm.
and they're seeing a whole bunch of female in pink, and they want to see,
Men like
men
it too.
also too. So I'm just
Mhm.
saying, it's for both, and it's every gender possible.
Exactly.
Whoever has a skin, human skin, that is.
Exactly. Maybe when my son gets out of college, he'll make a man tan line.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Um, Is there a side effect when it comes to beets? It should not be, right? Because I think this is the
Mhm.
purest to the pure when it
It's
comes
the
to.
mildest form of the active ingredient. So the active ingredient is DHA. In our case, it's derived from a beet. It can be chemically derived. In that case, it's called has an a long E word, which I'm no scientist, and it's the hardest word in the world to say. But it's a very long E word, and that's where it's chemically derived. And then sometimes it can be derived from sugar cane, which can have a sweet stench and just doesn't have. I mean, it's just not as good for the skin. So yes, it's the mildest form of the active ingredient and is actually healthy
Mm,
um, going on the skin because of it. It is extracted from beets, and we do have the added beetroot extract in there, and then other nourishing products. So this is, yes, to answer your question, it's mild, it's healthy. We have not had anyone break out. Knock on wood. I think the ingredients are clearly listed, so anyone who has any allergy to anything can clearly read it. I do have some customers that just pop a Benadryl and still do it because they don't to get in a rash. They just like they are allergic to one of I have two here in my at my store here in Savannah, and they just pop a Benadryl. I'm like, please seek your doctor for that. But That's the only time we have a reaction is if someone has an actual allergy.
Mm,
It's a very mild product. It's not a makeup. It's not doing anything crazy to your skin. It's nourishing the skin, and the beet sugar reacts with the amino acids in the top 10 layer of the dead epidermis and turns the top 10 dead epidermis dark.
mm,
So it's not penetrating through the bloodstream. It's not actually, it's nourishing that top layer of skin that's going to fall off anyway.
yeah,
So
thank you
lasts
again.
up to 10 days. So it's healthy. It's nourishing that top layer, but it's not hurting at all.
Of course, of course. Yeah. On a funny note, I can use this cream into my salad, can I? Because it beets.
No, it's not going to taste good. And you're not the first person that's asked that. In fact, our sugar scrub is made from the golden sugar beet, and it smells like a dream because it's got tangerine and grapefruit in it too, which is high in vitamin C. So it's really good for like scrubbing the skin and prepping. And we've had children eat it.
Mm.
And they are okay because it smells so good because
Oh,
it
gotcha, gotcha,
smells
gotcha.
like candy because of the vitamin C. Um, and they're okay.
Mm.
So they didn't taste good though, I'm sure. So no, don't eat it. Don't put it in your salad. um, it will
So,
not taste good.
thank you, Michelle. There are creams and suntan, but are there eye creams too? And is this a regular regime that, is a morning time and evening time that you got to do it? Is there a scrub that we can use also? I mean,
Right.
because that's a regime for skincare.
Exactly. You want to scrub, get all the dead skin cells off, like anything loose. It helps it last longer. And then you can apply. We have a mousse, which is our more instant gratification. The young girls love the mousse. And then we have a lotion. And then we have like some for like the more mature customer, has some anti aging components in it. We have a nighttime lavender. So it's really, we have something for everyone. Um, we really do have something for everyone. We have a nightly skincare serum that has a little bit of the beet tan in there.
Mm,
So it's good going on the skin. You can feel safe with it. And it goes around the eyes. Usually women are usually trying to get this part a little lighter. So not many people tan around the eyes, but by darkening the face, it's very mimicking the sun. It acts, the stuff's pretty darn good. It really does mimic the sun, but we do have something for everyone. If they want to just fall asleep in it, we have a lavender fragrance. If they want to go, because it goes on clear, it's wearable throughout the day.
mm.
I wanted to simplify it and make it easy, for people to apply, because it can be an intimidating product sometimes. And I wanted to simplify it and make it easy.
Yeah, yeah, and simple and basic, right? So thank you again for that. The reason why I know all this, and you and I chatted briefly, is because I went through the regime for those 6 7 weeks, and it seems like it's a very very tedious process. But at the end of the day, it makes you feel better, doesn't it?
Yes, yes, it does. And we have like I call them like my self tanner and my tanning mousses. I call it for my graduates. We have the lavender and the anti aging daily booster. It's like a daily tanner. They're easier. They don't tan you super dark, but they're just really easy. In fact, a lot of the men like those because it's not anything. It's just a little hint of color.
Mm.
And so like they'll graduate to the darker ones because it can be tedious and it can be intimidating, but we have some easier products that people can like test the waters with and then graduate as they get used to the product.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you again, Michelle, for answering that question. There's a new segment that we have actually started on season 3, which is a rapid fire round. In this
Hmm.
rapid fire round, we have words and we have sentences. Whatever pops in your head, the first thing or first story or whatever it is,
Okay,
let's explain. Let's talk about that if
that's
that's
fun.
okay with you.
Okay.
Okay, the first word is going to be universe.
Universe. Oh my gosh, this is funny. The entrepreneur side of me, I wake up and I ask the universe for answers and guidance with everything. So, quite honestly, that's something new I'm doing. I wake up and I'm like, how can I be a better presence in this universe, and what can I do to give back? Like, that's honestly what pops up in my head because this is something I'm doing during my daily journaling because I just want to be a good human
Oh,
and put
nice.
good stuff out there.
So
So,
the next one is going to be beetroot.
beetroot. Beetroot is like my baby. Like beetroot is like the it is the root of my success. Like, who knew? And I'll tell you what really comes to mind is I have a tattoo of a beet on my back, which came before I ever had a company made from beets. My
Mm.
son used to eat them out of the can. We were canned food family for a while. We were a little rough. We were a little poor back then. And he liked to eat them out of a can, pickled, and would
Mm.
drive me nuts because his clothes would be stained all the time because he
Of
just
course.
wanted to eat them like candy. I mean, most mothers would like that, but not if like you were a mother on the go like me. You didn't want your kid to be purple all the time.
Mm.
So I've always had this weird connection to beets. So I would say the beetroot, the first thing that comes up is how crazy is it? That's the root of my success in my company.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that. The next word is salad.
Salad. That is what I'm trying to eat every day. Um, every single day, I try to eat something green. I'm from the South and I love some fried chicken, but I'm trying to be healthier these days, especially with running a company that is based on health and wellness. Like, even though it's a beauty product, that is the core. So, yeah, salad is what I should be eating every single day.
And
More
the next word is going to be cancer.
Cancer is the first thing I think of is my family. We've had some scares. My grandmother's had breast cancer, my sister's skin cancer. So cancer is something that I constantly am aware of and mindful in everything that I do, eating, beauty products, everything, my daily, I'm very mindful of its presence in on our universe, in our here with everyone. So
Lotion.
lotion, I can't help but think of my lotion because I probably say lotion 900,000 times a day. Because that's what I do for my products. But lotion is what was my very first product ever, my very first retail product. So, I love me some good lotion. I love other brands, I love skincare in general. So, lotions are important. It seems so silly, but they really are important. We dry up like prunes if we didn't have it.
Mm. Cream.
Cream. Actually, cream thing makes me think of ice cream because I had a very big lunch and I haven't eaten since, and I really eat lots of ice cream. There's also an ice cream place right out the window. So right when you said cream, I could see it across the street. I live in downtown Savannah, so
You sure? You sure it's not beetroot ice cream?
during an ice cream shop.
You
I'm gonna
sure it's not beetroot ice cream?
It's not, but hey, I'd try it. I haven't had beet ice cream yet. I should try some. I bet it would be good. I've
Try
had
that. Please let me know, and let's tag each other.
Oh, I totally will. I'm gonna tag you and take a picture when I find me some beet ice cream.
Awesome. The next word is serum.
Serum. I actually what I think of is there's a really good company called Veg Out, and just bought her, and I thought she was on brand with me, so I started carrying it at the store, and I'm really enjoying her serum. She's got an amazing serum, so that was like the first. And how like cute hers is Veg Out. I'm BEETTAN. I thought it was very on brand, and her stuff is really good. I don't even know her well. I've just like kind of stalked her like I did you on Instagram, so on social media. So that's the first thing because I just got her stuff in, and I'm really liking it. And her serum is my favorite.
Awesome, awesome. The next word is going to be DHA.
DHA is the active ingredient in my product. Beets are what come up because after everything, when I was making this company DHA, I did a lot of research on it, and the beetroot the beet sugar beet was the best active ingredient, but I really wanted it to be an apple because I thought apple tan was so cute.
Hmm.
So when I hear DHA, but DHA is also a word for an ingredient in baby formula.
That's right.
You're always like, is it the same thing? And I'm like, no, it's just the same abbreviation. But totally different. But yeah, that's the first thing in the beginning when I was testing out all of these different DHA styles, like derived from different fruits and vegetables. I really wanted apples to work. And I was like, this daggum beet is catching up with me again. My kid used to eat them, and now it's the best ingredient. So that's what comes to my mind is that I'll never forget that process and testing out DHA.
Thank you. So the next word is E word.
An E word. This is weird because I just said that long E word. It was chemically derived. Like, what's happening here? I'd actually an E word. I would say excited. That's kind of where I am in my life right now with business and personal and as a mom. So am so excited where, I'm so excited about where I am right now. So that's honestly the first word that comes to my head because I really feel a lot of excitement these days.
Okay. C word.
C word. Now that could have been totally bad bartending days. Let's let's say character. Um I meet a lot of characters. I just came back from an event and I am loving all of the people that I'm meeting through my business and through the podcasting process. And so I would say I love people. So characters are like I think that's the first thing that comes to my mind. I love meeting people and understanding who they are as a person and where they come from. So
Of course, of course.
characters
The
there.
next one is A word.
An A word. Hmm. Let's see. Authentic. I think you know, I always try to be authentically me and I love people who are authentically themselves. So say that's my A word.
Okay. The next one is going to be moose.
Moose. Well, most people would think of the animal. In fact, let me tell you a funny story about moose.
Mm,
My very first digital marketing girl that started like that I hired in house that wasn't a hired contractor.
mm.
She ordered 1,000 moose labels and spelled it Moose instead of Mousse.
Okay.
So I still have those labels because I mean I paid for them and we approved the draft. And I was like, how did none of us know that it was spelled like moose the animal? So that's what I think of with moose.
Oh, awesome, awesome. And anti-aging.
Anti-aging, I think of natural. You know what? Honestly, I learned that red algae and algae is a really good anti-aging property. So I just learned that recently, and we've added it to the product. So that's what I think of with anti-aging because it's so crazy how many cool things the earth offers you that
Mm.
really do help with things like that. So that's anti-aging and red algae because that was like a new one that I learned recently.
If thank you again, Michelle, for that.
Mhm.
If you had a choice between fried butter and fried Snickers, which one would you choose?
Fried butter. I mean, I do love me some butter, but fried, hmm. I think I'd do a fried Snickers because you can't go wrong with chocolate, and you sure can't go wrong with Snickers. And I'm sure somebody out there in the South is frying some Snickers. So I'd say fried Snickers.
Okay. And the last two words is going to be Michelle.
The last two words is Michelle.
Well, Michelle is the first word, and
Okay.
yeah.
Michelle is what my mother named me. And I love my name and I've never met a mean Michelle. So that's what I do. Every time I think of Michelle, I think of my mom. I can just hear her saying my voice.
Okay. And the last word is back to basics.
Back to basics. I love it. Obviously, it's a great name for a podcast, and I think we all do need to get back to basics at times. I think we as humans overcomplicate things sometimes, and I think it's important. I love saying it. I love the name of the podcast, and I think it's important. It's important to go back to your basics, no
Yeah.
matter what it is in life. It's important to go back,
Yeah.
to the basics of life.
Michelle, thank you again for playing the rapid fire round. I hope you enjoyed. I
It was
hope
so
I didn't
fun.
really
A
stress.
little intimidating, but it was fun.
So, Michelle, thank you again for that. Let me ask you this, right? Your very first product
Mhm.
and today's product, has anything changed over the years when you first started this? And
Yeah.
what were the failures that you learned and what improvements did you do?
Well, failures, I don't believe in failures. It's all learning.
Mm,
So, especially in the entrepreneur world, like you fail, you learn, you pivot, you move, you take steps to be better and better and better. And I think with my first product, I just learned more about the ingredients and I had to learn how to make more money because you have to it costs money every time you formulate and every time you try these things and you pay the chemist and you pay, you know, and better ingredients, unfortunately, like healthier food costs more.
mm,
So from day one, it was vegan, free, and paraben free. But I was always looking for the better option with the longer shelf life, but with no preservatives and was still clean. So it was all just a learning process. And so the results are very much similar to the beginning product
mm,
because I was more concerned with that in the beginning for my sister's redheaded sake. And then as I learned and studied more about ingredients, they became cleaner and cleaner and cleaner.
Mm,
And, studying what works and what doesn't work. So I can confidently say, that it's a clean product, and we will always become cleaner and better. It's not something I'm just going to set on a shelf and be happy with forever. I'm going to constantly be finding out the ways that I can better it and
yeah.
doing my research. So, I mean, yes, it's come a very long way.
Mm,
But it's funny because my customers that tried it the first time are like, I've always loved it. So it's funny how people don't understand what goes into like keeping it wonderful and keeping it clean, and working with ingredient farmers and things like that. So it is much better. I'm very proud of it, and I can like honestly and confidently say it's going to keep getting better.
yeah, Michelle, thank you again for that. You know, the main ingredient is beetroot, and this is what we've been saying for the last 24 minutes, right? But let me ask you this: how is that different than any other creams and serums out there, or anti-aging out there? Because I'm pretty sure people ask you this question over and over again.
Oh,
So what do you think the actual answer is going to be for you?
for me, it's not just the beet. There is an Australian company that does use beet sugar too. There's one other company that mixes the sugar cane because obviously it's easier to get sugar from sugar cane.
Mm,
Um, but there's a mix of other ingredients in there too. We're aloe based.
mm,
We don't use cosmetic bronzers, so like the men like it, and so it doesn't stain. So it's a combo, but I went with the name BEETTAN because we only use the sugar beet for
mm,
the active ingredient where it's derived from, and then all of the other ingredients combined with that really do have natural results. And
mm,
I'm sitting here with color on my face, and I'm tan. I just got back from a but it's my dad, God rest his soul, is a redhead. Me and my sister do not tan naturally, so the results are just better with the 100% beet DHA, and then the rest of ingredients combined with that really have created a very natural looking product that people can trust to be consistent.
mm. Yeah,
Consistent,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Michelle, thank you again for that. From an entrepreneur to another entrepreneur, let me just ask you this. If you did something differently, what would that be?
Trust myself more.
So
I
you didn't trust yourself more before?
I went from bartender to business owner. So it was intimidating at times, and I was seeking help from so many people, like almost like too many cooks in the kitchen.
Mm,
And a lot of times I was right because I was trusting my own instinct based on my experience with the products. I had been spraying for years before I dove into my own product. So I wish I would have trusted myself, but all is well, and I'm happy. That was a little bit of a hiccup for me. Was I felt like you've heard that entrepreneur saying imposter syndrome, and like that was real for me because it was a completely flip flop from of a different life,
mm.
from being single mom bartender to now all of a sudden business owner to then all of a sudden brand owner, company owner. Like that was for a minute there. I just wish I just would have trusted myself and gave myself some grace.
Mm. Yeah, Michelle, thank you again for answering that question. Thank you
Mhm.
again for being here. Let me ask you this one last question, if you don't mind.
Of
If
course.
Do you have any last words to all my back to basic listeners and my entrepreneurs and whoever's listening here from the health side of things? Do you have any last words for them? And how was your journey on back to basics too? On top of that,
Yes. Well, I'll start with the any advice. I guess what I could a takeaway would be. I don't know. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank. I think a good takeaway is it's put your heart into it, put your heart and soul. If you care about it, the results are going to be amazing. I just said trust myself, but I really do love what I do. I'm super passionate about it, and I think that's what has led to the success. I would do it for free and it's fun for me. And then my favorite part on back to basics is about this whole experience is, well, first of all, that lightning round or whatever you call it, that was like pretty intimidating. I was pretty proud of myself. So I'd say that was That's a really, you should keep doing that because that was a lot of fun. That's the most fun I've had on a podcast, and it was like I felt like almost like I was on a game show, but kind of. But yeah, that I love that part. But I like you asked. I love the questions you asked. Very different questions
Mm.
than I've been asked. So I thank you for that. Thank you for the challenge, but also thank you for such great questions and put it and letting me put this out there in the universe, which was first word.
No, no. Thank you again, Michelle, for coming here and understanding what we're all about here. We try to make it simple and basic, and try to explain to people that yeah, there are other creams out there, but then we're not saying that yours is the best. But then I want people to make those choices in a healthy way, in a basic way, and this is one of the reasons why we brought you
By
here.
something so basic of buying a self tanning lotion, they're supporting an entire journey. I help women entrepreneurs, and it's not just about looking tan or being tan or all of that. There's so much more behind this company. So I appreciate anyone who tries it and gives it a chance.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be trying it, and I'll definitely page you offline to get that in my hand. So thank you again, Michelle, for being here.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
So, guys, we spoke with Michelle today, and we talked about skincare. We talked about beetroot. We talked about many different things, and she says, well, she wants a Snicker bar too, fried. So that's one thing that she I think she's gonna do that, and I think she also said that she's gonna send me a picture with the beetroot with the ice cream. So I'm gonna hold to that for Michelle. Now, here's a quote of the day from Back to Basics, and hopefully Michelle will like this quote. The quote is, skincare is one of the most important things for the body and feeling good. It is, isn't it? Because you know what? The regime that I do every day, the regime that everyone does every day, it does take over time. It does take time. It took me at least 7 to 8 weeks to get where I am today. I don't know if this is good or not, but I feel great. So that's one thing that you need to do. It's not about looks. It's all about feeling good. So guys, as usual, as always, what do we always say at the end of the episode? Everything in life goes back to basics, and that's what we did today, guys. Guys, take care. God bless, and I will see you next time on Back to Basics.
Great. That was such a good interview. I loved it. I'm getting better at this. My first one I was like, ugh, but I'm getting better.
Thank you for that. Hi guys, thank you again for tuning in to Back to Basics and listening to the excellent episode that we had today with our guest. With your love and support, we do need you to at least rate our show, review our show, because it does make us stronger day by day, week by week, as I usually say on my episodes. And there are 3 things in this episode that it makes a hit for me, which is the content, the guest, and definitely the host. So guys, take care, God bless, and remember, everything in life goes back to basics, and that's what we did today, guys. Guys, take care, God bless, and see you next time on Back to Basics.